last year. And a lot of people said we couldn't do it. There's a lot of doubters. And what did we do? We shocked the country. And let me tell you, everywhere I go, anytime I go out of state, I have so many people that said, we were watching everything happening in Virginia, and you guys have given us hope. And that's what this November is about. Because people are seeing elections matter. People see leadership matters. You know, this past week was exactly 8 months. September 15th was exactly 8 months that I had the honor of serving you as Attorney General. 8 months exactly since we've been sworn in. And I joked with Glenn, I said, I feel like right after we got sworn in, I could over here on a speaker somewhere, clean up on aisle 7. Because half of what we've been doing is cleaning up messes. But I remember last year, people have asked me, when do you think you guys can win? And I'll tell you, it was an event in Alexandria. It was at the farmer's market. It was packed. I don't think Blue Alexandria has seen that much red in a long, long time. But I remember a mom came up to me and she says, I want you to know I'm a lifelong Democrat, but I'm voting Republican this year for the first time ever. And I just said, I'm honored. Well, why exactly? I'm curious what prompted the change. And she said, you have a lot of politicians and a lot of school board members that have forgotten a really important truth. Never, ever, ever get between a mother and her child. I just said, yes ma'am, and I won't forget it. But that's what we've seen. The governor signed those series of executive orders, some of which I can't talk about, like investigating Loudon. Some of which I can, which one of them was the mask in school mandate, which is this radical idea, right? Really radical, quote, radical idea, which is parents knows what's best for their child. Now think about this, folks. 25 years ago, saying that parents have a fundamental right to the education and upbringing of their children, both parties agreed with that statement. That was not controversial. Now, that's controversial. Yesli Vega and Hung Khao believe parents have a right to the education and upbringing of their children. Their opponents don't. 25 years ago, both parties said, you know what, we should really defend the police and not defund the police. Give them the tools they need to do their jobs. 25 years ago, both parties used to say, you know what, the best way to fight violent crime is maybe, radical idea. Let's get violent criminals off our street and not be treated like a catch and release program. Hung Khao and Yesli Vega believe in giving law enforcement the tools they need to keep you safe. Their opponents don't. That's what's at stake in this election. But I will tell you this, and it's part of the reason why I'm so proud to be campaigning with and for both of these incredible candidates. If there's anything that worries me about as an American, it is the fact that we're forgetting who we are. There was a poll done right after July 4th, and it asked a simple question. How proud are you to be an American? And only one third of Americans ages 18 to 29 said they were either very or even somewhat proud to be an American. A free nation cannot remain free if an entire generation of Americans had no concept of what made this country the last best upon earth. I call it the American miracle. Hung Khao and Yesli Vega both, in their own unique way, are the embodiment of that. I spoke at a naturalization ceremony on Monday. It's my earliest memory after my mother fled Cuba, and then I got to, as a 6-year-old boy, see her take the oath of allegiance. So 69 people from 35 different countries. Let me tell you something, folks. They're not woke. I handed them these American flags. They maybe cost $1 at the end of the ceremony. The tears of gratitude they had. They live in this amazing country. And the fact is that you have so many young people in our education system that are told a monstrous lie. The lie is America is broken. The lie is America is not a great country. In fact, that America is somehow inherently evil and racist. This country has given more second chances to more people from more backgrounds, faiths, and creeds than any country that's ever existed. Hung Kao and Yesli Vega are Exhibit A. They love this country. You know, there's a front page article in the Wall Street Journal that was talking about this massive shift you're seeing among Latino voters. And it's been pretty easy. They're saying both, hey, they value faith and family, so does the GOP. They also value economic empowerment, so does the GOP. You know another thing they believe in? They know this country isn't a hellhole. What do they hear every day in our education system by the woke left? That this country somehow is awful and evil. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that we have so many young people. So Yesli Vega and Hung Kao understand in their bones that this is indeed that last best hope on earth. I always think of what an Italian immigrant said the first time they ever laid eyes on the Statue of Liberty. They said, that's the greatest light the world has ever seen since the Star of Bethlehem. I feel that. Yesli feels that. Hung Kao has felt that. You feel that. You are here today because you are a patriot. You're here today. You could be anywhere right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful, I mean, fall in Virginia is just spectacular. It's like the Garden of Eden, right? Just love fall in Virginia. You could be anywhere right now. But you're here. And you're here because you also understand two things. One, this is the last best hope on earth. There's no other country like this anywhere on the planet. And two, it is facing threats unlike anything we've ever seen. And you very much embody the very, very best of who we are as a people. Because the most dangerous thing we face isn't China. It isn't some of this insane curriculum we're seeing. The biggest danger we face right now as Americans is apathy. It's the sense that nothing will change. It's the sense that we're on this inevitable decline. And I'm asking each one of you here to reject apathy. Because as we sit in this beautiful hall and as you enjoy this, we break bread together, there are millions of people on this planet that they would do everything in their power. They would tie inner tubes together and cross a shark-infested waterway. They would cling to the side of an airplane. They'd crawl over broken glass. They would do everything in their power to be where you are, to be an American. You won life's lottery by being born in this country, which means you have a responsibility. This is what it is to get involved and to reject apathy. It's to say, you know what, I'm not gonna spend my Saturdays enjoying the beautiful fall weather. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna talk to my neighbors. I'm gonna knock on doors. I'm gonna do everything I can to be part of democracy, because democracy is a participatory sport. So that's why you're here. And so Hung Kao and Yesli Vega, heaven knows they would be an upgrade for what we have in Congress, am I right? Washington is a complete mess. You know, it's been said that Ronald Reagan can never tell a lie, and Bill Clinton can never tell the truth, and Joe Biden can't tell the difference. Heaven knows we need some sense of check and balance in Washington. And you know, the great serving alongside Glenn and Winsome and Governor Youngkin loves to say, the right leaders focus on the right priorities. 87,000 new IRS agents. 87,000 to audit small business owners and middle-class Americans. To put things in perspective, 87,000 is larger than the entire British Army. 87,000 is larger than the United States Coast Guard. You have a crisis on our border. I hate it when politicians use crisis. They use it for everything, right? There is a crisis on our border, a humanitarian crisis, from human trafficking to fentanyl, What's happening right now on that border is cruel. This administration has induced people to try to come into this country illegally. It is tragic. A country that cannot control its border is not a country. Right now, can you imagine the difference if he had hired 80-some thousand border security agents to help protect our sovereignty? But he's not. He's focusing on the wrong priorities. Hung Cow and Yesli Vega both understand that. They're going to be exactly the type of common sense leadership we need. Because the one thing I know from Washington, common sense is not very common. Only in Washington what they call the Inflation Reduction Act that actually adds to inflation, right? It's like the upside down. But listen, you're here because it's important. And you've heard me say this before, but this is who Hung Cow and Yesli Vega are. When Ronald Reagan said that our national anthem is unique, that we're the only country in which it ends with the question, are we still the land of the free and the home of the brave? Hung Cow and Yesli Vega have answered that question. They both have served. They both come forth, both served their country in the military and as police, as law enforcement, and also now putting themselves out there as a candidate. And it is not easy being a candidate. It's not easy dealing with the press that hates you and despises you, but they're doing it because they want to answer yes to that question. The time now is for you, each one of you, to answer yes to that. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a patriot. Thank you for what you do, making sure that this last best hope on earth is preserved. It's an honor to be your Attorney General. It's an honor to support these two incredible candidates for Congress. Thank you. God bless you all.
All right. Thank you again, Attorney General Jason Miyares. Well, the AG is absolutely right. This election is critical for the future of our nation. And that's why we have a great opportunity here in Prince William County with two phenomenal candidates. Now, Hung Cow, unfortunately, he couldn't make it. He did have a good reason. It's the birthday for his twin daughters. I offered to sing him happy birthday, but I didn't think he wanted to hear me catch a tune. Probably for the best. But we do have someone who many of you here in this room know very well. She has been a fighter for people in Prince William County for years. She has proudly served the Brentsville Magisterial District. I can tell you for a fact, when I ran for the House of Delegates last year, she was one of the first people that I talked to and one of the people who I consider to be my mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Supervisor Jeanine Lawson.
Are you ready to win? My voice just broke. Are you ready to win? Yes. Yeah. Folks, Attorney General Jason Miyares makes me so proud with Lieutenant Governor Winston Sears and our Governor Glenn Youngkin. Please give this man another great hand for standing up for Virginia, for our values, for our Constitution. Man, it feels good to be a Virginia Republican. He is so right. Hung Cow and Yesli Vega embody the American dream. We have two incredible candidates to send to Congress on November 8th. You all know Yesli Vega, our hometown girl, and man, does she make us proud. Yes, give her a hand. I tell you what, I wouldn't choose anybody else in the bunker with me every Tuesday than Yesli Vega. I love her. That girl is fierce, relentless. The left not only hates her, they fear her. And I knew, yeah, they do. They better fear her. And I've been telling people from the get-go when she decided to run for Congress, she is AOC's worst nightmare. And I can't wait to hold her. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Hung Cow, though. Because as you know, I live in the 10th district. And we have an incredible opportunity to send a Vietnamese American retired Navy captain whose family knows exactly what Mr. Miyares was just talking about. The beauty of the American dream, the city on a hill, the family that fled Saigon as Saigon was falling to communism and moved their family here in Northern Virginia and watched their son grow up to accomplish great things even before high school graduation and then go on to the Navy. And he has an amazing story to tell. And he is doing a great job running in the 10th district, taking the fight to Jennifer Wexton. Let me just tell you, yes, thank you. Jennifer Wexton is a rubber stamp. She is what I call a sure thing for Nancy Pelosi. And I believe Hung has what it takes to defeat her on November 8th. But we in the 10th district have to do our part to accomplish this mission. And I know that Tim Lund, Tim, raise your hand. Tim, you and Denny have been incredible. Working day in, day out, pinging me left and right, pinging a lot of people, bringing grassroots volunteers together to make sure that we are doing everything on the ground to run a robust campaign for Hung Cow. What are we down to, 6 weeks? Is it 6 weeks from Tuesday? 6 weeks to go. How many days? 7 days until they start voting. So what I'm going to ask you to do is dig in a little bit deeper. This is where the rubber really meets the road, where we got to make sure that we are polling the absentee locations, which is going to start in 7 days. We got 3 different locations throughout the county. We've got to be the watchdog because we know the left is going to do all they can, pull all kinds of shenanigans to manipulate the vote. But they know we're watching. We absolutely have made it very clear that the sleeping giant is now awake and we are watching them. And thank God we have an Attorney General and a governor that will prosecute voter fraud. So before I hand this over to Ben, I'm just going to make one more appeal to you. Please do everything that you humanly can to make sure that we send Yesli Vega and Hung Cow to Congress for a lot of reasons, for the sake of our nation first and foremost, but also let's send a strong message to the Democrats again this November that Prince William County is not forever lost on Republicans, that we can win elections in Prince William County, and let that be a precursor to taking back the Board of County Supervisors and the school board. That's right, next year. We're going to keep our amazing Sheriff Lynn Hill in office. Lord willing, he will choose to run again. And let's send a prosecutor back to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office who will, guess what, prosecute crime. So for my own self-serving reasons, I'm asking you to dig deeper and make sure that we elect Hung Cow and Yesli Vega and send another shot across the bow to the Democrats that Prince William County Republicans is alive and well, and we're going to come kick your ass next November too. Thank you.
For the kids, she said, kick your butt, kick your butt. Making sure, keep keeping it PG with the children here. Oh my gosh. Jeanine is absolutely right. We have a heck of a fight on our hands. We are a battleground. We will remain a battleground. And the biggest one that we have here is in the 7th Congressional District, where Abigail Spanberger, when she's not going to the New York Times and saying how she's a moderate, is spending most of her time voting with Nancy Pelosi 100% of the time. It's time for her to go. First of all, she doesn't even live in the district she's representing. So we need someone who will actually represent us and serve us. It is my distinct pleasure and it is my honor to introduce our next speaker here. I actually met with her when I ran for the House of Delegates last year at Panera. We had a wonderful conversation. She was very happy, very jovial, and then she turned deathly serious on the drop of a dime, saying you need to get out there and knock on as many doors as possible. If you don't do that, you're not doing it right. Hence the t-shirt, yard signs don't vote, go knock doors. And so for that, I want to introduce to you our next Congresswoman for the 7th Congressional District. Give it up for Yesli Vega.
Virginia this past November when we elected Governor Youngkin, our Lieutenant Governor Winston Sears, and our fabulous, amazing Attorney General who just spoke a few minutes ago. Yes? I want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you all so much for your prayers. Thank you all so much for investing your time, your treasure. I can tell you that I'm losing my voice, and I think that you probably hear it, because we are going up and down the 7th District talking to every single person. Listen, I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent. We're past that point. It's about being Americans and coming together like never before. I am so encouraged because of the conversations that I'm having with people in the district. If you're at the gas pump and you're next to me, I'm going to talk to you. If we're at the grocery stores checking out, we're going to talk. We're going to have a conversation about the price of milk and a dozen eggs. Because guess what? We're all feeling the squeeze. We're all feeling the impacts of the recklessness that has been coming out of Washington over the last couple of years. And I don't know about you, but I am tired of that. And listen, we hear it every single election cycle. This will be the most consequential election of your lifetime. No, this one will be. I'm sorry to tell you, but this one will be the most consequential election of your lifetime. We've seen government overreach like never before, yes? We all remember how they utilized this pandemic to keep us from going to church, yet they kept the liquor stores open. What they've done to our children by hijacking schools and keeping them out of the classroom when the science stated that the best place for our children was inside of the classroom. And now we've heard from Lieutenant Governor Winston Sears and everybody else what the test scores say. It's been damning for our children. It's been damning for our country. How many veterans do we have in this room? Can you please stand up? Stand up. Can we hear for our veterans? Thank you. Thank you all so much for your service to our nation. How many were forced out of their jobs because it was either the vaccine or staying to provide for their families? We've gone through a very difficult last couple of years. And you see the news, you read it in the paper, everything that they're trying to say to take away from that enthusiasm that we have here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. But it's not going to work. No, it's not. It's not going to work, right? Because we are mobilizing and we are organized like never before. I want to share some stats with you all, because my team shared these stats with me a few days ago. Our team has made over 250,000 phone calls. And some of you sitting right here in the audience have been the ones helping us. We've knocked on over 40,000 doors. It's incredible. It truly is amazing. And that's why I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful, because I can't do this by myself. We're going from representing the Coles District that has approximately 70,000 people to a congressional district of 800,000. That is a big undertaking, it is. But boy, does God take care of everything, amen? He truly does. And he exceeds our expectations every single day. I hear about people who are helping us, and I'm so grateful. I just can't say enough. I'm so grateful. Now listen, at about this time last year, what did the polls say about our Republican ticket? That we were going to lose, right? Seems like busing people is the new trend here in America today. Because my opponent is busing people from out of state to come help her knock on doors here in the 7th District. She's bringing reinforcement, she calls it. There's a reason for that. We have an incredible movement, and there's nothing she or her party can do to stop it. Nothing. Because we have patriots that have had enough. That have said, I cannot sit on the sidelines and allow this intentional destruction of our republic to continue. So I want to encourage you all here today. I really want you to stay in the fight with us. Don't pay attention to the news. Don't pay attention to the polls. Don't pay attention to what the paper says. You already know they're not on our side. I like to surprise the enemy. I think you all can see that I'm very petite. I'm not very tall. But I like it when people underestimate me. I really do. They said we couldn't do it, Supervisor Lawson, in 2019, right? How did that work out for them? We won, and we won big, didn't we? Yes, we did. Another thing, signs don't vote. Oh, no pun intended. Why do I say that? I probably get at least 5 emails and DMs on social media daily about the sign war. I've never won the sign wars, ever. Not in 2019, not during the primary, and we're not gonna win it during the general. But you know what does it? When you tell 5, 10 of your friends to come out and vote on November 8th, that gets the job done. That gets the job done. So be encouraged, stay in the fight with us. I don't want to show my hand because that's not how I do things, but I can tell you that we've done some internal polling, Mr. Chairman, and we're looking mighty good. Mighty good. So keep helping us knock on doors, whether it's for the Vega campaign, for the Hung campaign. We need all boots on the ground. We need people engaged. We need people talking to their friends, to their relatives. Listen, if you're in church, talk to people. Talk to people. I know that they say, no, not at church, not at church. But then you can't wake up tomorrow wondering why we continue to go down this road of chaos. We all have a responsibility, whether it be with our children, whether it be with our neighbor, with our country. We have a responsibility to stand up and to do what's right. So, if you're at the ball field, you already heard me. I'm going to talk to you if I bump into you at the grocery store or at the gas station. We're going to have a conversation. If you're at the restaurants, talk to your waiter. You'd be surprised the things that they're going to share with you. How they're hurting. How that's probably their 3rd job because they can't afford to provide for their families. Stay in the fight. Be encouraged. I'm excited. I'm fired up because God is amazing and because we have an amazing group of people here in the 7th District and in Prince William County. So I don't want to take any more of your time because I know that we want to continue eating and mingling. All I can say to you all is thank you. I'm not done and I'm not tired of winning. And with God's help and with your help, we're going to send a loud message on November 8th that not on our watch. We're going to fight, take our country back, restore common sense to Washington, set the stage for the great American comeback of 2024. God bless you all and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Let's go and win this. Thank you. Can you all say cheese for the camera? Thank you all so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Give it up for Yesli Vega. One more time.
Are we ready to win?